up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm here live. I'm here live. In a little bit, we're going to be joined by the good Dr. Randy Short. He's going to be dialing in a few minutes. But in the meantime, I need y'all to like and share. You know, YouTube does not like when Dr. Short and I get together. YouTube, you can just check the numbers. You'll see, as soon as Dr. Short is on, all of a sudden, y'all stop getting the notifications. The views go down from 8,000 views a video, 10,000 views, back down to about 2,000. But look, the information is more important than the numbers. The information will find the people that need to hear. And the impact from those who need to hearing the information is far greater than any numbers I can put up. I don't believe in numbers. Numbers only get you so far. By the numbers, LeBron James is the greatest to ever play. But in the last 10 years, NBA viewership is down over 50%. Nobody cares because we can all see through the numbers that the nigga's soft and the numbers was manufactured. You dig? You know, Drake got the biggest numbers when it comes to sales, but we saw during this recent rap beef battle, whatever you want to call it, the numbers didn't matter. It was like, I understand the numbers. I understand them well. But yeah, sometimes numbers don't matter. You dig? So that's the kind of person I am. Hey, the numbers are numbers. The numbers are cool. But at the end of the day, the message is more important than the numbers. Always. In my opinion. You dig? So we're gonna have Dr. Short in here in a little bit. In the meantime, chat, I want to say welcome to everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate y'all for joining. We are here to have a good time. I'm over here messing with my color palette over here, trying to make sure shit is right. Trying to make sure shit is right. There we go. All right, cool. Got it. There we go. Cool. So we are here. Dr. Short will be dialing in a little bit. But before Dr. Short dials in, I want to talk about, you know, what's up, everybody in the Charlotte in the house. What's up, Boris Shock? Go to blisscapsules.com. Type in product code Dewan B. Buy 2, get 1 for free. Make sure you get yourself this stuff. Get yourself some Bliss Capsules this Christmas. Also, we'll be talking about intellectual power later on. But before I forget, thank you, Boris Shock, my mods, for typing in intellectualpower.net. And my mods will be posting the links throughout the video, especially for intellectual power. And so, hey, Dr. Short, there we go. I see it.
Can you see me? I can't see you.
Yeah, I can see you.
Do I have the camera right? I can't tell.
Well, no, you gotta go out and come back in, and then like you gotta start it with it being up that sideways. So you log out and come back in with it on the side.
Okay, on the side.
The landscape. Yeah, log out and log in on the landscape side, and I'll send you another invite. Hold on, y'all. Dr. Short is on the log out first and then come back, okay?
Okay, let me see. I'm doing this through my phone.
And then what I'll do is I'm going to send you another invite. And then there we go. When you log out, click on that new invite. There we go. All right, cool. Dr. Short's gonna be coming back in here in a second. But yeah, so that's what we're here for. What's up, everybody in the chat room? So this has been a very, 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 very heavy political year. Let me see here. Make sure I got the right invite. Copied and pasted. There we go. Because I sent the invite. I sent that one. I wasn't even in with that one. Well, anyway, so this has been a year that a lot has been going on. And we see it was another leap year, Olympic year / election year. You know, Olympics and the election always fall in the same year. And whereas the Olympics are a political event wrapped in sports, the elections are a political event wrapped in politics. What do I mean by political event wrapped in politics? It's definitely political, it's wrapped in politics. But at the end of the day, nobody that we know controls anything. If you're going to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. If we're going to tell the whole truth, we don't control nothing politically. All right? Let's make that I always have to make that very clear. We don't control shit. You know, when we vote for president, the Electoral College is who decides, gets in office. All right? I'm in California. I didn't vote Democrat nor Republican. I voted for Dr. Funkenstein as president. You dig? But although I wrote in Dr. Funkenstein on the ballot, my vote still went to Kamala Harris because California supposedly, according to their numbers, went with Kamala Harris. So that's where my vote went. And even when we talk about some of these local initiatives, like we always talk about voting locally, state initiatives, even state initiatives, at the end of the day, that comes down to what they want. Here in California, we voted for the daylight savings to end. We still got daylight savings. Let me see. I'll make sure everything's okay with Dr. Short. Make sure the link is okay. We voted for the ending of daylight savings here in California. Guess what happened when daylight savings came around the next year? We had to change our motherfucking clock. Guess what happens when daylight savings came the year after that? We had to change our motherfucking clock. Our vote didn't mean shit. They didn't change nothing. Here in California, this is when I knew it was some bullshit. Back in 1994, I think it was 94, California voted. Let me see. I probably got to send the new link. Let me quit out of Skype and come back in. This should be acting all. Skype be acting like a hoe when you gotta when somebody gotta log out and come back in. Let me create a new. Okay. Meet now. Let me see. Host a meeting. Yada yada yada. Start call. Invite others to join. Copy link. All right, paste. All right, cool. All right, so that'll work. That should work. So back to what I was saying. I think in 1994, there was something called Prop 187. And Prop 187 was a proposition basically to end public assistance for illegal aliens. No more. This back when the news still used the term illegal alien. This is when the news still used that term. And it was basically Californians voted so that California taxes don't go to pay for illegal aliens' children to go to school, nor hospital services. And California voted that in like, yes, we don't want to pay for illegal aliens to get these things. And again, I'm only using that term because that was a term that was being used at the time. What happened? California fought back, and those billionaires that run shit, that really run shit, came in and was like, nah, we need this illegal alien labor. Matter of fact, we're going to stop you motherfuckers from using the term illegal alien. And not only did that law not get enforced, they changed the whole lexicon in America to where you can't even use the term illegal alien. Now they're migrants. All that migrant talk started when California said hell no to public assistance and services for illegal aliens. So that's a little bit of political history for y'all. So at the end of the day, politics is what it is, and we don't take the shit too personally. But we do have Dr. Randy Short here in the building, and Dr. Short is here, and we're gonna break down some of the things that's been going on politically this year. Let me change the name, and I still got Brandon's name here. What's up, Dr. Short?
Oh man, I'm white, and white Christmas, and happy white baby Jesus birthday to everybody. You know, this white Jesus man is something else. That's its main supporters, but so you know,
Hey,
I'm alive and giving honor to God and the first lady of this channel, Sister Tachina Arnold, and all the other wonderful people on the Dewan B platform who've been very kind to me. I am happy to join you. I feel good, and I'm going to the gym not too long after this ends, and that's a great feeling.
that's cool, Dr. Short, man. Is our volume okay, chat room? Everything okay? Cool. Yours is a little. I'll turn my mic down so our volumes match. So you guys can turn your speaker up. I turn my mic down so our volumes can match, y'all. So, because I'm on a strong mic. So yeah, we got Dr. Short here. So Dr. Short, let's just jump right into it. What's your overall assessment of the year 2024?
It's a year of revelations and new beginnings, as well as old orders ending and new orders starting. So a lot of that old is going out and a lot of new is coming in. And a lot of what people refuse to see is being revealed, and those that always saw are being vindicated. Everything is crazy. Can you imagine on Christmas Day? I mean, I'm thinking about how the year started, and then I'm thinking about now, and we're just a couple of days before the year ends, and of all the people in the world that I would end up talking to because of Dewan B and your platform, you got people like, excuse me,
Bless you, bless you, bless you.
Jaguar Wright and friends of hers looking to new voices like yours and other people and this independent alternative media and social commentary.
It's crazy you told me that. I had no clue Jaguar or her people watch this channel. I love Jaguar, right? Y'all know. I
We
had
are,
no clue her people watch this channel. That's dope.
you know, when you talk to me, I talk about how much I love Jaguar. I I I figured just to show you how crazy the year has been. Like for me, it's been amazing recoveries. Like Trump made an amazing recovery, whether you like him or not. A lot of people are coming back that people thought were out. All kinds of things are in play. People like Robert Kennedy Jr., the people over
And we
in
thought he was out.
he's out, he's in now.
Yeah. Oh, Dr. Short's phone dropped. He'll come back. 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 Let me see here. Same. Let me see here. Does it still show Dr. Short? It's oh, there he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. There it is. We got you back.
I said to Joe Biden, people realize Joe Biden is more vegetable than a bottle of V8. And so we've seen everything. We've seen the boule lose its absolute grip, its vice-like death grip on the throat and minds of Black
Yes.
Americans. We've seen the mainstream media be shamed. Nobody's watching the Henry Winkler-looking Rachel Maddow or the Don Cheadle-looking Bori Reed. I mean, people are turning away. I mean, nobody wants to buy MSNBC, CNN. A lot of stuff is going. The whole music game, people are now realizing how bankrupt. It's always been a grimy business, but now people, I mean, the bottom, I mean, we have people coming forward. We got TD Jakes. You know, I did a show and I told people, and I try to be honest. I mean, I don't know what to do other than to tell you what's in my heart, right? And
that was 2 years ago. We did a show on TD Jakes where you talked about it, maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
No, we did it last December. The show was called Ho Ho Ho.
Oh yeah, that one. We did. I remember that one now. I remember. Let me see if I can put it up. Put the link in here. But go ahead.
It's a year ago. So we were talking. In fact, my fellowship. You know, when I'm not cussing, I'm talking about God. I'm sort of like my cousin Marvin Gaye, the whip between Cooch and Coke and Christ. Well, I don't do the Coke. I wouldn't mind Cooch if I'm married, but I'm definitely going to have the Christ. We were praying. I was praying that TD Jakes be exposed this year and that Diddy be brought down this year. I need to add Gay Z, his little degenerate Joe Camel looking ass. I mean, a lot of people who've been bamboozling and lying to people. In fact, what I really like is bringing it to home to Black Americans is the fake sellout, go along to get along coons, like the ones that worked in the Kamala Harris.
Yeah. They've been getting it.
That were being disrespected while telling us she's joy and she's not going to support reparations and she's locked up and destroyed Black people, but she's our best choice. All the while they're being treated like field hands off the movie Mandingo. And yet telling us to vote for that ratchet bitch. By the way, can I do my song?
Go right ahead, Dr. Short. It's your platform right now.
It's a white Christmas song. Mama's a freak that drops her drawers, her feet in the air without a pause. She's going down on men and boys. That's why the Democrats call her joy. Ho, 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 we all know. Ho, 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 Willie's ho, ho, up to the rank. The hole that went down on Willie's stick. Ho, ho, ho.
God damn it, it dropped him again in the middle of his song. Fuck. God damn it. He'll come back. It'll come back. It'll come back. Ah, damn. I think if it keeps dropping, we'll just have Dr. Short call in and do everything by phone if it keeps dropping. We can go either way. There it is. You had dropped out, Dr. Short, mid-song. Go back. Go ahead.
Oh, you want to hear the song again?
Go back to the midpoint.
Okay, I'll just do it from the top. 1, 2, everybody with me. Kamala's a freak that drops her drawers. She's going, her feet in the air without a pause. She's going down on men and boys. That's why the Democrats call her joy. Ho, 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 we all know. Ho, 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 Willie's ho, up through the ranks. She trick. The hole that were down on Willie's stick. We all know. I can tell the world about this. So that's come out. It's come out all kinds of stuff. I mean, this year has been a year that's vindicated people. You know, I was telling Brother Q on the channel I often do, which is called Let's Talk To. And I was saying that T.D. Jakes was going to have a major medical emergency in front of his congregation that was going to disturb what he was doing. Everybody would see it. I said this at the beginning of the year. I said it will happen this year. Nobody will be able to deny or cover up that he had a problem. Did he have a stroke in front of his congregation? Didn't he? Exactly.
Yeah, he did. Like about 2 months ago, yeah.
Yeah, I told people. So that's why people call back and said, man, you were saying this at the beginning of the year. I told you it's going to happen this year. People who are prophetic, again, like a Jaguar, right, have liberated a lot of other people to tell the truth. So now all this stuff is coming out. So we're entering into an era of revelation. Why? Because the boomer generation ends in terms of its authority January 1 of next year. And a person like me, who's an X generation, we come into our seniority. I'll be 60 in February, and I'm the beginning of the X generation. And so these boomers that have been standing in the way, the ones that have lived too long, don't want to do nothing, don't want to listen, got all the answers, they're going to go the way of the buffalo. And I'm not saying the X's got it together, because we failed too, but there's going to be a generational shift rapidly. On top of that, we're going to see crises around food, around security, around energy, around shelter. And you know what? People that think, who've been outcasted by the systematic dumbing down of the public for decades, now it's going to be different. Do you realize people had to start thinking more intelligently about when and where to drive their car and how much food they were going to buy because the prices went to the ceiling?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people had to start thinking less stupidly. That epoch isn't over. I don't think necessarily that you're going to see a complete change in energy or food or other prices, but you will see people learning to adjust and do things differently. People are going to become hands-on. On top of that, the thing that you're mentioning something about the illegals, and yes, I said illegals, or ilegales, or seen documentals, right? That people have woke up, and this year, because I've seen illegals strutting. I mean, illegals having a basket cart, food falling off, and black pensioners with 2 or 3 items, like with the calculator, old niggas with rheumatism in their fingers, trying to figure out if they could get a few groceries. Watching people who can't speak English have basket carts full of food. Okay, I know what it's like to go to the Social Security office to turn in a document, and I had to wait. Every person that was in the country undocumented had priority over me, which means if I got there the minute that the office opened, if a person that checked in after me was illegal, they would see them, and the next person, the next person, the next person. And only after all these people got served could they get around to me. A lot of people, in particular, let's talk about it, Black American people who are ungrateful bastards that hate being in America and imagine that they want to live in Africa, and yet they haven't been across the United States or been outside their city, are recognizing that there are people who would happily fight to take your stamps, your SNAP, your Social Security, your SSI, your Section 8, and it would be given. In fact, in a generous way, never given to us that made this country. And we're going to have to fight for things that we have taken for granted. They will close schools, bar us from the jacked up education that exists.
As they did in Chicago. They
To
closed.
help people who don't even belong here. So in Washington, D.C., there are people who are veterans who are getting $6 and $8 and $12 a month in SNAP, and yet their illegals getting $2,000. And I remember I would talk to people, and I used to be called xenophobic. Why do you hate everybody? Well, I speak a little Spanish, a little Portuguese, a little French. I've traveled. I've been a human rights defender for immigrants. How did I become a hater when I noticed something that's unfair? Right?
Right.
I mean, in fact, let me tell you a real story. A friend of mine who right now they're on phone restriction to show you how people operate when they're from another culture and how they can be super unfair. Now, it's no secret. And like I tell anybody, I believe in God. I'm a Christian, maybe not a very good one, but I do believe in the Bible. I believe in God and all that. Proof of that is like, I got stage 4 cancer, and yet I'm telling you, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm disabled, says the government. And I have cancer in my back, so they say, I'm going to the gym. And I went to the gym the other day, and I was there for like an hour and a half, and I'm not all sore and bent over and didn't have to soak in Epsom salt. Something is looking out for me. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Having said that, when I look at the fact that I couldn't get appointments to see the doctor because they needed to see the other people first, and I'm supposedly dying, and someone just comes up here and I can't see a doctor because someone came to the country illegally? Really? And a lot of people who hadn't been paying attention, a lot of stupid Black people, everybody white is bad and everybody that's not white is cool. People are going to have to start thinking. A lot of people's minds have been opened by this. A lot of folks are recognizing, right? I'm watching people get driver's license without even having to do the driver's test. I mean, they have signs up everywhere telling people how to drive. Why? Because the people never had to do driving tests to get, in fact, money to buy cars. I mean, and yet, and people said reparations for us is outlandish. A lot of contradictions in this society been manifested. And so that's how this year has been. Like, there's so much money for Ukraine, but there's none for Chicago. They ran out of food. They couldn't help the people. Remember the hurricane hit North Carolina?
Yep.
And they let people die, and the people out there looting, and this information still hasn't been presented to the public. People beginning to notice that there's something wrong with the health of this country after the major problem was addressed. Hint, hint, read between the lines. Listeners, I don't want this channel shut down. So a lot of truth is coming, and you know what? It's going to go full circle. Understand something. You know already that the FBI, which has been covering up stuff, is now going to change management. All kinds of stuff's going to come out.
Oh, they're on the FBI's ass right now.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff's going to come out. That the explosion and overdose and fentanyl deaths in particular are up 300% for certain Black communities in this country. All kinds of things are going to come out, that people didn't do anything, that people were harassed, that people were lied to, all kinds of stuff. It's here. And now people that tell the truth may not like us, but we're going to kind of look like we know what we're talking about. So it's a very interesting thing. It's like they lied. Let's just do the election. There was no way that whole come swallow was going to win. There was no way. Ain't no way, the Franklin sang, right? Her winning was believable as Denzel Washington's recent baptism. Now, I'm a preacher's kid. Nigga, it doesn't take you to 70 to want to get your ass washed with God, called a baptism. And all of a sudden, he's talking about he used cocaine and heroin and all this stuff.
Yeah, he been coming out of the woodwork with all kind of, telling me he kissed the boy, all kind of shit we don't need to know.
Well, my point is, look, the time for you to have tried to make up with God was when you made $80 million off of American Gangster and you glorified drug dealing, and then for you to get with God. Not for Diddy to be in the docket and then everybody's leaving the country. And the thing I love about this, what I really love about this year, is that people are looking. A lot of stuff. Let's talk about Gaza. The Holocaust, in fact, 80 years ago this week, my great-great-uncle, Joseph Redding Short, Jr., escaped from the Nazis, experimented on him. They gave him gas experiments, they injected him, they had to cut his leg off, all of this stuff.
Wow.
And they to other Black men. The Holocaust more or less was over the same month that the Diddy trial would start in May. May 1945, more or less. June 1945, I mean, the Holocaust is over. It's interesting that literally within the 80th year of the Holocaust, you have an in-your-face Holocaust being done by GCP, and you can't deny it. I mean, folk can't have food, you kill people, assassinated, bombing, invading countries. And so that was a sacred cow. If you even halfway said anything, you hated people. You know, you got a big swastika on your forehead if you said, why do you need to drop a 5-ton bomb on the elementary school? And someone tell you, oh, you're an anti-Semite. What, because you don't like kids getting killed in the Semitic? A lot of things that have been imprisoning the mind have been imploded. And that's the thing. Like, Kamala wasn't going to win. Denzel Washington's baptism, I'm not impressed, Washington. You came up in a halfway decent home, halfway decent folks that loved you. You used drugs because you wanted to.
Right.
You went to Diddy parties because you wanted to. We all came up in the church, but be careful feet where you go. Be careful eyes what you see. It should be careful little dick, you Diddy. Or be careful little ass, you don't Diddy. Because the Father above is looking down with love, right? All of these people being exposed. Oprah Winfrey, remember the color Slurple? I was there a year ago yesterday, being disgusted watching Oprah Winfrey attack black men.
Yeah.
That's the thing I got to say. Black men, the good, not the stupid ass, dick slave, pussy begging simps, brotherfuckers. But the good black men have saved America by not voting for that slut, either by staying on the couch and watching some Dolomite or something, or voting for Dorito, aka Donald Trump. And we didn't care what anybody said to us. This is so intelligent. And so look, it started off the year with that thing in the theaters, that they were going to make that a blockbuster film, to trash black men. And look at how Oprah Winfrey, remember, did you see that picture where Oprah Winfrey, she looked like a dolphin with a bad weave on, walking to her car.
I mean, watch a motherfucking thing with Oprah in it.
Well, no, I'm saying that there was a point where people were asking her about something, and Oprah Winfrey was looking like Flipper with the weave on.
I don't remember.
You have to see it. Oprah Winfrey is, she almost looked like she had Down syndrome. And I could believe that. Notice how all these people in hiding, and I'm just looking, the boule, the fake ass black celebrities.
I want to go into the people that are in hiding, but give me 1 second before we go into that. I need y'all right now to go to intellectualpower.net and get you some of this brain food right here. Keeps your mind sharp. Intellectualpower.net. It's pinned at the top of the chat. It's in the description, and the mods are hitting you. Go to intellectualpower.net. Dr. Short just hit on something that I want to get back to. You there, Dr. Short? I think his thing went away. I'll see when he comes back. But Dr. Short just hit on something about all these people that are leaving. You noticed they're not talking about all these white folks that are leaving. Ellen DeGeneres supposedly. Mm-hmm. People like Tom Hanks supposedly. I'm just saying what was put out there in the news. You have a lot of these people that are connected to Diddy, that are connected to the Democrats, that are now leaving. And then you see the fight between, Dr. Short, that fight between George Clooney basically a couple weeks ago called out Obama like, hey, it was your play. It was you and Nancy Pelosi. It was y'all play to get Biden up out of here, replaced with Kamala, but y'all left me hanging. So we seeing them fleeing. We seeing them fighting. What's going on with that, Dr. Short?
Well, Obama probably wanted Newsom. They both wear tight pants. Um, and Newsom is the nephew of Pelosi. They didn't want Kamswala. Kamswala was Biden's middle finger to Pelosi and Obama, or should I say Ofaga. Could you say Ofaga, boys and girls? And look at how long it took Obama. And Obama's full of shit when he has Michelle next to him. When he needs
that cachet.
Not just cachet, when he needs some beard power.
So you saying when Obama needs some nuts, some
right. Well, sometimes he feels like a nut. She's his almond joy. And otherwise, he's mounds or pounds. So what you say?
Pound Town.
They tried to do a coup. The Obama people have been running the White House anyway. I mean, only thing Joe Biden halfway runs is his zipper. And when you have a wife that looks like Alice Cooper out of makeup, Professor.
Yeah. Jill Biden, oh my God, Jill Biden! I'd be afraid to see her in a haunted house.
Right, even bent over. So the Bidens are a disgrace. Hunter Biden is a degenerate. The father's a degenerate. Jill is a procurer. It appears. They were they're clusterfuck as the family, a clusterfuck candidate. And this has been true for a long time, going all the way back to when Joe Biden in the 80s was lying about his education and falsifying stuff. The man is a racist, liar, pathological racist, liar, deviant. Everyone knows that, but white privilege covers a lot of things. So they wanted him out. They knew he was no good. Obama didn't want him to run for president. And Joe ran anyway. Joe won. They were able to steal it for him, but they knew that Trump would probably get 400 electoral votes or more. And he put in Kamala, and because there was money there. Remember, people ignored what happened. Kamala Harris's husband, Douglas Emhoff, who's Jewish, there's a lot of the funders, let's just say, the Hollywood funders of the Democratic Party are super wealthy people in the Jewish community. It's just no way to get away from it. So Ari Emanuel, brother to Rahm Emanuel, the former mayor of Chicago, who covered up the Laquan McDonald execution, who was the chief of staff for Obama, or Al-Faga, and they go to the same gay bathhouses in Chicago, at least they used to, it's been reported.
Allegedly reported, yep, reported. It's been reported, y'all.
Yeah, reported. I mean, I say the minutes out there.
I got to save my channel, so I'm going to say what I got to say, but go ahead.
Click on your channel. It's called A Man's Country. They knocked the thing down in 2017 or 2018.
We did a show on that a few years ago, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And this is not my opinion. It's true I don't like Obama, but that's not what drives me. It's the same way I like Jaguar Wright, but that doesn't make me believe her unless she's telling what I know to be true or believable. I'm not emotion driven. So what they tried to do was a coup, and it mostly worked. But what they really needed, and they thought they found the perfect recipe: talk up abortion, promote sexual degeneracy, and gaslight Black people. Something for nothing, mass Black voter turnout that would make it good enough for them to steal whatever votes that they didn't have in order to win. And the Black voter turnout being exceedingly low this year, and the numbers of younger Black folks who are tired of basically the homoerotic 3-card Monte game that the Democrats have been playing with us, which doesn't include reparations if you cast the card trick right. Messed their thing up. And in particular, they thought that, the whole thing is to get, in particular, I'm going to say it, dumbass Black women to vote for illegals to replace them. And if you notice, there are all these Black women getting set on fire.
I got the Man's Country bathhouse picture up here for everybody to just look at real quick. got the man's for those of you watching. That's their flyer. I didn't make that. That's the men's country that Dr. Short talked about, just so you guys can see it. But go ahead.
And if you look at the neon sign, it's very similar to the campaign logo for the Obama campaigns of 2008 and 2012. And by the way, if you look up who designed the logo for Obama's thing, I can't prove it, but I really am of the persuasion that they're LGBTQ as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone LGBTQ would make a logo reminiscent of a bathhouse that they go to. And of course, Black folks have been played, been used, manipulated, bamboozled, thinking that we had something to do with Obama being made president. He was not put in the presidency to help us. He was put there to destroy us. And that brings us back to Ofaga. Him running his mouth in Pennsylvania, finally, at long last, there's something happened in 2008. One of my favorite teachers, Islamic historian and scholar of religion and social change, Dr. Suleiman Yang of Howard University, a very dear friend of mine who died November 2018. I told him 10 years before he died that Black people would turn on Hillary Clinton in 2008. The minute Bill Clinton made a statement that Black people could construe or actually know was racist and dismissive, and then all of a sudden Black folks would click against Clinton. I says, when Bill Clinton runs his mouth and loses the election for Hillary Clinton during the primary, I'll call you and announce Obama the winner of the Democratic Party primary. And he'll win the nomination of the party. And when Obama beat Hillary in New Hampshire, Bill Clinton, the bigot degenerate that he was, and ex-cocaine user, so it said a bunch of statements that were nasty about Obama and Black people. And he made a statement about implying some of the words, a Black person being president was a fairy tale. And on that day, I called Dr. Yang and says, Bill Clinton just sunk Hillary. Now Obama's going to get all this Black support he didn't even earn because they're so angry that Bill Clinton took a shit on the aspirations of Black people to finally get their share of what they consider theirs in America. I says, from here on out, Obama's going to win 90+% of the Black vote everywhere. He's going to devastate Hillary Clinton in South Carolina. He's going to win everywhere in the South, everywhere he goes, because Bill Clinton ran his mouth. All of a sudden, Black people are going to remember mass incarceration, welfare reform, all of this. They're going to remember how bad he treated us. And brother, remember, Hillary Clinton basically didn't win anything from New Hampshire afterwards. Obama just beat her ass everywhere. It was as if it was Muhammad Ali beating up George Clooney. Remember when Muhammad Ali was beating this white dude? He beat this dude.
Yeah.
He beat this
Quarry.
dude like it was a retarded kid in a special school. He just kicked his ass. It was sad. Muhammad Ali got paid to just beat up white guys who couldn't fight. And Obama beat her like this. Now, when Obama mouthed off at Black men who still voted, 80%, the largest demographic of men that voted for that sorry Hindu Black cosplaying trick bitch. Black men still voted for a woman that destroyed Black men. And you have folks bitching and talking shit about Black men, including a lot of loudmouth Black women who are going to need us to protect them from these illegals who are going to be mad about getting deported. And the same way they're setting people on fire everywhere.
And black broads like Roland Martin and Van Jones. You can put them in the broad category, can't you?
Scam Jones, Jelly Roll Martin, or Jelly Hole. All of these people, if you notice, got paid. This is what came out, that the Black Boule people were getting paid huge amounts of money to lie to us, to say, don't get anything. You ain't going to get nothing. But damn it, Steve Harvey, what did they give his sorry Mr. Potato Head looking ass?
What do you think about the church and people calling out Al Sharpton for getting his money? He got paid a few times, and now you see the backlash he's getting. I want to know your thoughts on that.
Black churches retracted that. They're hypocrites.
Oh, they did? Man.
Yes, they retracted it. Go back and look. Because those black churches got paid. They got COVID money to tell us that, we just need all these shots. Shut your doors and just do this. It's perfect. The black churches get paid by the Democratic Party. At this point, or what I would call religious real estate organizations, black religious real estate organizations, because they're not churches. They're not saving nobody. They're not helping nobody. Those little lying, grifting niggas. Look, you can't get me in a church most of the time. I mean, what they call a church. I mean, right? I mean, and the only pipe organ they like is in the pastor's study. Just these preachers are now snitches. This criminal justice reform and other things, these preachers are now paid to snitch on their members, to spy, to push drugs and things. They're enemies of the people.
Right.
Look, how can TD Jakes go to parties where it's alleged that they're minors and drugs and violence and rape? In fact, he put the pictures up to let us know he was there, and we can't question that. And yet you're supposed to represent goodness and holiness? Bullshit. Or Jamal Bryant. All of these dirty guys.
That nigga dirty.
They are filthy. Look. I thought it was me, and I realized I'm okay. I couldn't get motivated to go to one of those mortuaries called a church, where they don't speak up for the people, where they don't fight for the people. Take someone like Jaguar Wright. Why can't the pastors and the preachers, if there's any doubt of what these people are saying about the music business or anywhere else, they should bring these people together and have them hear them out, and also challenge TD Jakes to explain why he needed to be there. If Carlton Pearson can get called out for saying it's okay to be LGBTQ and you're going to go to heaven if you suck dick, why can't TD Jakes be asked questions too? And Jamal Bryant. And by the way, Al Sharpton, if you really get back, and I'd love to introduce you to my friend, Brother Mike, and he'll tell you, this is his report. What legitimized Al Sharpton was Alton Maddox, the funeral I went to. Remember I went to Alton Maddox's funeral? I think it was last year.
Yeah.
Alton Maddox and them legitimized Sharpton because it's alleged by many people. So I know two very reputable people. When you saw Al Sharpton, he would be with an entourage of sodomites. The scriptures say, how can two walk unless they agree? Judge Joe Brown says stuff about that, right? And I say turds of a feather float together. So Sharpton has no legitimacy. He never has. He's a snitch. I tell everybody, when I did get to meet Asada Shakur, she told me and others Al Sharpton set us up for death.
Wow.
I mean, it's just not, I'm saying, and I dare Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton is trying to get his half-brother out of jail, who allegedly shot a woman in Alabama in 2018 with a shotgun. You want Biden to pardon him, but you didn't mind Obama doubling the bounty on an innocent black woman that was raped, abused, and shot. And this is the same Al Sharpton 11 years ago that had a birthday party where it's alleged he gave Viagra tablets to his friends to rape an inebriated sister on his staff. And people know this. People know this. I mean, they're going to get upset. You know, those preachers are beefing because they didn't get as much as Sharpton did. You show me the average nigger preacher is much a grifter as the average pusher. And in fact, the pusher may dress more conservatively, drive a smaller car. And actually, if he says he delivers dope, he has dope. They say they represent holiness and righteousness and have none. It's like a
Great
whorehouse.
point. Great point. You hit it home right there, Dr. Short. I want to get into this has been my thought. Oh shit, Dr. Short cut out again. I got another question I want to give him. When he come back, I'm gonna give him another question when he come back. But again, you've been listening to Dr. Randy Short. He's probably gotten a call. Sometimes that'll happen on Skype when you're getting a call. Shit gets popped out. But when Dr. Short comes back in, we got a few more questions to ask him. We're not gonna be here too long because Dr. Short has places to go, and I do too. But I do want to get to Dr. Short. Oh yeah, he's back. So Dr. Short, I'm gonna change the direction a little bit. How long do you think this buddy partnership between Elon Musk and Trump is gonna last? Do you think it goes all 4 years? And if not, when does it get cut off? Just what do you think? How is this going to play out in Dr. Randy Short's opinion?
You know, it's interesting that you asked that. I have a friend who is an AKA, Catherine Lindsay, who was an AKA at Howard the same time as Come Swallow. And she and I have been arguing for months. And look, I cried out and spare not. She's a hoe and I'm not supporting her. I don't care. Let's lose my friendship. Now, moving back to these two, I told her in one of my last tweets, and I'll shoot it to you so you can see I wouldn't lie to you. I told her that this is a short-term bromance. When Donald Trump becomes president and he has the power, he's vulnerable every day that he isn't sworn in. When the realities change. And if you look at what happened, there's this little Indian dude that he's being pushed to put in charge of artificial intelligence. And this Indian dude is running his mouth that there needs to be unlimited HB1 visas for Indians, right? And the MAGA people are angry. So you see, and the reason I'm going there is that vasectomy is what I call it. Mm-hmm. Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah, Vivek, that punk ass punk.
No, but Ramaswamy, vasectomy. Vasectomy and Elon Chump are egotistical people. Vasectomy is from Soros. And what I believe is going to come out, because I have to add them together, I believe that Ramaswamy, coming from a Hindu background, doesn't have any respect for women. He's disrespected some white woman somewhere that's going to come out. That's my prediction. Vivek Ramaswamy, aka vasectomy, they're going to do something, and white women, because the things that Elon Musk and Ramaswamy want to attack are things that white women have gotten all of their cash out of. Old, young, professional, and not so. If you start taking away what white women get, in particular, Ramaswamy's not even white.
Good point.
Ramaswamy is darker than everybody in my family's generation before me. Same way I had my mother's friend who's in the CIA attacking me for attacking Kamala Harris, saying, "You're just black because of your father. Your family is much lighter than Kamala Harris," to say all this color shit to me. But it's just, but I'm not them. Okay. Okay. Vivek Ramaswamy's white card won't make it into March before white folks start tripping.
You think March?
I said won't make it to March.
Hey, I'm not gonna argue with you right there.
This H-1B1 visa thing, when there are tens of thousands of white people who can't get high-tech jobs in this country, and to find out that MAGA means basically more of Biden's preferring, immigrants over Americans, Trump is going to face a populist reality that you can't do. You can't campaign as a populist that has a popular feel for people and then turn around and get in office and do the same elitist shit that people hated from the Democrats. He's going to have to pivot back to his base, or else he's going to get eaten alive because there are people waiting. Remember, Caesar never saw Brutus's stab coming. Trump is peaceful as long as he's true. See, white voters aren't black voters. You can rape, set black voters on fire, screw them, shit on them, they'll kill, still can vote for you. White voters will turn on you. I mean, I worked as a waiter. White folk will hate you when they're getting the best service just because they're angry. Right?
Hey, you ain't lying.
You give a black person good service, they're basically happy. White folks are not easy to please. If you ever make them feel like it's psych, fuck you, they're going to come after MAGA. So Elon Musk, who's talked about making white women who can stay home and eat bonbons and work from home and also have a side job, that you're going to drag all these people back and to have them sit in traffic and shit, these people will turn. So, and Elon Musk isn't an American citizen. These people are talking about taking away the little bit that we had because he feels like it. You want to get rid of Social Security, and yet your ass is rich, Elon Musk, off of
privatizing the post office.
Right, the community chest. Look, privatizing the post office, what it really means is closing down a government agency that's provided jobs for blacks when nothing else did.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is the mail service has been going down all over this country, but you know what's been also going on in the mail service? Mm-hmm. The numbers of black people working the postal service has diminished. Mm-hmm. Removing black people didn't make postal service efficient. Getting rid of postal trains that blacks used to be significant in the there's been a decline. Remove black folks and the shit goes down.
Real talk.
The only thing that doesn't work is that black folks don't give each other the same service we give everyone else. I believe the bromance between Elon Musk and Trump is coming because Elon Musk, he's egotistical, he looks evil, he looks arrogant, and if he thinks that he's going to get all kinds of money off of the government while getting rid of the SNAP program, they're like 40 some odd million people. Actually, it's more than that. Maybe 50 million people need food subsidy. Now, his whole operation is subsidized by the taxpayers. For him to waste and lose money on his cars that blow up, worse than the bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Right.
He can fuck up and waste money and get more, but people who need to eat aren't deserving of anything. The minute that you put that together, let me just say this to you. The United States has a history. When the white masses get angry, they get violent. They're not like black folks that want to steal some sausages and maybe grab a plasma television set and go home and watch it. When white masses get mad, they go out, they don't just destroy, they go out and kill politicians. They're a whole different kind of rage.
They shoot CEOs of healthcare companies. And
in fact, that's a good thing. Let's just stop there. First and foremost, I want to tip my hat to the accused homoerotic alleged assassin of the healthcare person. I'm just thinking about the suppositories that I carry, hemorrhoids. They'll give me surgery for something to cut up in my ass, and I'll be sore for weeks. Whereas I could get some cheap suppositories to put up my ass, and the insurance, someone's saying I don't need them.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the doctors all said it's not even a big request. It's not a big ask. No. And if I get over-the-counter shit, it doesn't work. This is something I have to have a prescription to get it. So, I mean, the criminality of the American health industry, which they put prescriptions, like they did that for NAC, N-A-C. It's a kind of supplement. It's a very powerful amino acid supplement. It was helping people with respiratory and other illnesses. Because it was helping people, they made it unlawful for you to sell over the counter. Nobody been sick, been on the markets for years. But because that was messing with the potential profit margin of people pushing vaccines, you ran everything out so people have no option.
That's bullshit.
Down to your emergency use authorization mandate when there were things that could help you, right? These health people, for example, the profits for insurance companies have gone up almost 270%.
270%. Wow.
70% increase in profit, but their expenses may be up 65%, but that's still 200% profit. Who cares? In fact, let the tranny get titties. I just want my suppositories.
Yeah, that's crazy. And what
do you know that they were trying to tell people how long they could get anesthesia? The doctor can't, you know, you're gonna put a timer on the gas. I mean, who does this? So Mangione, I don't know if I sent you a picture of him laying all over the guys and having his little nipples exposed and so forth. And I'm just trying to think, what kind of guy who's rich that can afford an $800,000 condo that's in reasonable shape that runs around with your shirt off in San Francisco and in Hawaii, why you don't have a girlfriend? A lot of guys, it's because they're not financial. I mean, you don't have a car. You got all that. You can travel, do what you want. People like you, and there's no girl. And he lived in the same neighborhood as Paul Pelosi. Remember the one that got hit with the hammer?
Yeah, got his ass beat by his lover.
Yeah, right. And he had the wine glass in his drawers, saying it was a home invasion. I don't know how many people have wine in their wine glass and in their drawers, and their home's being invaded. Okay, and you're holding hands. And he got busted for a DUI, and he had a male prostitute with him. And so this Mangione, they're closely connected to the Democratic Party. Yes, they are. They're Italians. The Italo-American community is super tight in the city of Baltimore. And they're tight with the D'Alessandros, which is the paternal name of Nancy Pelosi's her first name is D'Alessandro, and her brother that ran for mayor, and they had radio stations where they ran ads. The Mangione family and the Pelosi family are tight. And look at how Nancy Pelosi all of a sudden, bitch, fell down a flight of stairs over in Europe, and you haven't heard from her ass.
No, you haven't. She did fall. She did bust her ass.
Pretty busted. You mean she rebusted her ass? I mean, this to you. That's just, Pelosi was supposed
God
to come
don't like ugly.
She was supposed to come back to the United States. She's still, first she was in Luxembourg, then she was in Belgium, then she's in France, and she's getting all these replacements and stuff. I hope she gets her face replaced. She can just take her vaccine with her. I mean, so these people have done, you know, the Pelosi's have gotten super rich, allegedly doing insider trading. I wonder if any of it is medical. The other issue is, how did Mangione know which hotel he was in and when he was going to come out? Did they meet on Grindr or Tinder? And this guy was not with his wife, and they'd broken up, and he had lots of money. If you're into women and you're running with tens of millions of dollars, there are all kinds of women that are willing to share. So he's single, and this guy knows when he's leaving the hotel.
Hey, these some good points you're bringing up, Dr. Short. Go ahead, keep cooking.
So you're in Hawaii, a gay paradise, and you're in San Francisco, another gay paradise. And then you're in Manhattan, if he's the actual shooter. And then him having the mask on and him showing his face. And if you looked at all, and I don't know if you've been following, but there are a whole bunch of people that said they've been with Mangione and they're not women. And they went to the all-boys school. We know what that means. Right?
Right? Music. Mm-hmm.
So let's just be real. And I don't know, maybe he wanted to get a sex change, he didn't get it, or whatever, but he has this manifesto and they're talking about all this stuff. But I'm gonna just say to you, even the healthcare thing's coming out, and that was a revelation. Again, to the white elite of how violent the white masses are, that they don't think this man shooting this man down in broad daylight, if it's actually him, they think he's a hero. And they're scared because they're stealing from everyone else in this massive wealth transfer from the masses of people to the super wealthy elite, creme de la creme. It's the same way Black America has $2 trillion that comes into our pockets, but 90% of it goes to the top 15%. So 15% of Black Americans are getting, what is it? $1,800,000,000,000. And the rest of us are working with 200 billion. This is why they don't want any change. This is why they don't say anything about reparations. This is why they've gotten their reparations and they've left us behind. This is becoming more and more evident when you have mayors like the little Have a Nice Day, Mr. Yuck nigger, Eric Adams in New York, or the Barbara Jordan tranny beard-looking, the one that's in Chicago, the one that's not shit. He does look like Barbara Jordan. He has the same glasses. Or the mayor of DC, who doesn't give a damn about people. Or the mayor of Atlanta with Cop City. Or even your Karen Bass, the Uncle Fester looking broad with the AstroTurf hairdo she's got. Black folk are looking at these people and they're not pleased. And white folk aren't happy with their elites.
Right. No, like, you're right. It seems to be like a convergence that's happening right now in ways that's it's like you cats are being forced with all the real Americans. And when I say real Americans, I mean those of us who've been on this soil since the 1700s. What I'm saying is because by hook or by crook, people are starting to really see what it is. And that's why Trump has such a short leash.
1600s for you and I.
Yeah, 1640 for me, but
right. I'm saying, look, I have folks that go back even before. My mother's family, they can date them to Maryland in the 1630s, and they crossed over from Virginia. So I'm talking about all the way back.
I know, but the ones that came in 1640, the ones that were in Virginia, married a native. So who knows how long that native was there, the one that they married. So technically, I don't have the start date. The only start date I have is when they moved from Middle Essex, England in 1640 to America and got married to an American Indian in 1650. And so the American Indian that my 1640 lineage comes from, who knows how far back that person's been in America.
We're foundational.
And it showed, and then for you idiots that go around saying, "Oh, your ancestors came from Europe." Yeah, a lot of you ancestors did. And then by the time I get to 1690, I got an answer call. His name is Abraham Man of Color Scott. And he's the son of the person that immigrated from both America, that married the person that immigrated from Middle Essex, Europe. And the son is listed on his birth certificate as a man of color. So that whole story about black people that came in the 1600s is way different than, or the people in general that came in the 1600s. And for that, you guys got to refer to Dr. Clyde Winters. Dr. Clyde Winters give you all that information. But go ahead.
Look, when I went to see the gastrointestinal specialist, the person that came in to see me was a nurse. And after we got through, I was looking at her and trying to figure out if she's German. And she told me she wasn't German. I says, "Well, what are you?" She said, "I'm Irish." I says, "Okay, you're from Western Ireland." And she said, "Yes." Now, she knew, and what she knew I knew was her jet black hair means she's black. She's called a black Irish person. And me being black and me knowing the hair, what it meant, she had to laugh. "Yeah, you know what I am." So I've been to Ireland, and I had an ancestor who was Earl of Tyrone on the northern part of Ireland. I mean, in other words, it's the king. Tyrone is one of those states or territories.
And names like Tyrone, McDuffie, Stewart, these are all melanated, swarthy skinned people.
All of those, and Friend, this is sort of how I reached the conclusion how the family was light and got dark so fast is that they had recessive, or should say they had dominant genes, but the dominant genes weren't presenting. And the minute they marry someone dark skinned, everybody's black. Everybody starts brown. But Smith, they were white presenting, put them with the black person immediately. But that's why they try so hard to keep black and white separate, because a whole bunch of white folks, or we allege of white folks, are basically European mulattoes. And all you have to do is add a little bit of black to them, and they go right back to how they looked a couple hundred years ago. And so, like you said, 1700s, and like I'll tell anyone, what's his name? Leonard Calvert, Lord Baltimore, is my ninth great-grandfather.
That's crazy. Lord Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore. I mean, I can't do anything I didn't know. I learned. And when I start asking questions, who is this? 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 And that's the other thing I like about this year. A lot of people are getting into this foundational Black American thing. And it's not to be against anybody. Brother Dwan, when people do stuff and help me, I do stuff for other people. My dear friend, my god sister in South Africa had no refrigerator. I bought a refrigerator. My friend's mother broke her leg in Malawi. I bought her crutches. I paid for her medication. I paid for her medical treatment. Are you understanding me? I don't hate Africans. I love Africans, but I live here. My roots and history are here. I'm very comfortable with Africans, but I live here. And there are people. Did you hear about the person that was found crushed in the tire bay of an airplane that flew to Hawaii?
Oh yeah. They flew out of Chicago to yeah.
There are people who are dying to try to be in this country. The real problem, I'll tell you, in America, and we begin to get there, is that we've been lied to by the boomers and the silent generation and others that you can if you just do the right things will work out. It's not true. We are going to have to fight for our share of America. This is a fight club. It's not a love club.
Real talk.
Black men are going to have to learn how to come together. When you look at, no matter if the Spanish-speaking guy is 4'2", he's got a crew of guys that will back him on whatever it is he wants to do. A lot of Black men have to do stuff by themselves because, I'm going to say this to you, this I got a big dick will travel mindset, where the only thing that matters is say, I fuck, I can play sports, I go to the gym, and I can stand alone. No men in the world think that they can stand alone. All men in the world are organized into military or paramilitary units, even in business. The origin of the Japanese businessman is a samurai. The Black man has to learn to be a warrior, and not a warrior just for pussy or for fun. He's got to become a warrior for survival, for his family,
and for his community.
And if he's not willing to fight for anything, then damn it, slit your throat and let white supremacy reign.
Hey, I'm glad you brought that up, because I know we see a lot of that going on in the ethnicity, in the hip hop wars. How Lord Jamar is basically the only person out there fighting, and all these homo thugs that have been dominating hip hop the last 30 years, acting tough, being gangster. The men, the culture's under attack. All these homo thugs that have been out for the last 30 years are quiet as hell, leaving one Black man to fight. And Lord Jamar even said recently, like, where's the help? Like, y'all be calling me on my phone, and telling me, oh man, you fighting a good fight, you're right. But none of these dudes come out to help. When you do got a Black man that's stepping out and he's asking for assistance from other Black men, these dudes that's been going around the last 30, 40 years, acting tough, will beat any other Black person's ass, been acting like straight up punk ass hoes. And that's why I don't respect these niggas. Yeah, and I want you to touch on that, Dr. Short. And also, before I forget, one of my commenters talked about Fannie Lewis's chickens coming home to roost. I want you to touch on the hip hop part, and then I want you to touch on Fannie Willis before I have you close it out.
Let me start on Fannie Clitis. She looks like a cross between Sally Hemings and Petunia Pig. She's a whole. She's Greek and Boule. She's an embarrassment to Black womanhood. And by the way, these Black women being set on fire and being killed and fired from jobs. I did this on your show, Dewan B. Remember I said there's going to be all kinds of violence and stuff start happening against Black women, that they're getting in the middle of a fight that they haven't figured out. And as much as Black men don't stick together and they're not an organized unit for resistance, then the sister, she's out there with her titties hanging in the wind, trying to take on white folks or others who are unified around their interests. So these sisters with their loud mouths and their overpriced degrees and their college debt and all their arrogance, it doesn't mean a goddamn thing in the real world. The only people who regard that are those stupid pork chop feminists and dumbass Black men that think begging for pussy from a Black American woman is an act of valor. So Fannie Willis and that dude, the dude that looks like a seal that turned on her, you know, pussy don't last always, Fannie and pork chop feminists. If pussy was so good, he would have married you. You would have been someone that someone would have wanted to make a wife out of.
Mm-hmm.
A side piece that paid, which is a type of affirmative action. And we could use a lot more of it. But everybody knew she was bogus. And by the way, Fannie Willis hasn't begun to catch hell. And they're going to get that Incredible Hulk-looking bitch up in New York, Letitia James. There are going to be a lot of Black women driven out of judgeships, jobs. Black women, y'all going to get the shit kicked out of y'all. And we warn people. It wasn't that you don't stand on your job. That's not what I'm talking about. If you were a righteous person, we with you. But if you're one of those dumb ideological holes where you're a Democrat first and a feminist first and a lesbian first and a side piece first and you're Black, only when you need Black men to bail you out that you don't value in the first damn place, then your ass is grass. Now,
real talk.
Talk about the sorry ass Black men. And you know my word for them is brotherfuckers.
Right.
You know, there's this thing called doxycycline PrEP. It's a thing that you can take to avoid getting STD. It's just a matter of time before all these drugs that the pharmaceutical people are making to facilitate all of this sexual promiscuity, in particular sodomite promiscuity, when the strains of these bacteria and viruses become resistant, this 2-year grace in which the rate of STD infections has sort of dropped about 2%, it's going to explode again, but they'll be more virulent. It took them 8 to 9 years to come up with the protocol to keep people from getting deadly or super powerful strains of drug-resistant STDs. But if you look all over the country, they're exploding rates. They call it colon cancer, but it's anal cancer. People eating behinds, licking behinds, getting screwed in the behinds, male and female. These cancers are going through the ceiling and they're killing at younger and younger ages, faster and faster. I believe all these little sodomite, homo thug people, the same way that they got people interested in thinking and romanticizing the bromance of a prison, are also people being used to promote activities that will cause mass death through dangerous sexual habits. And these people will die with and for the cause. Now, they don't care anything about the music because the music isn't worth a damn anymore for the most part. They don't care about anybody. And their shelf life ends in less than 6 months because when the Diddy trial hits, anybody that can afford the deep web films, which some are going to make it to the regular web, we're asking Freaknik. They didn't make a real documentary to cover up for the degeneracy of a lot of middle-class, nasty, Black Luciferian scum that want to fuck everything that walks, want to abort every baby, that this world is coming to an end and suddenly without a remedy. And so, and they're going to need to stand up and, you know what, when they begin to lock up people who've been wealthy, who've lived as rappers, when they're in jail, Brother Dewan B., Do you think they're saying, well, this dude had a gold record, I'm not going to run a train on him? No. I say, I know that asshole's tight, slap, slap, slap.
Oh, I don't think about
There,
it.
there are going to be a lot of people. You promoted this degeneracy. I say it's one thing if he's kind of cute and you wanted to do it,
It's
but
going to be a
imagine
lot of these activities going on.
a funky person that's going to like pop your booty and rape. You're going to see a lot of people commit suicide. This movement is going to die. It's going to swim out in its own blood of Luciferian iniquity. It's about over in 2025. Black sodomites who betrayed us. I'm not talking about everybody gay. I'm talking about the real radical ones promoting and pushing and fighting for this stuff in elementary school when kids need to have a preteen KY jelly line. The people that have pushed this degeneracy on our people will be punished. They'll be destroyed. They'll be hurt. If they're out there doing sex work, these illegals and other people, folk are going to be disappearing, getting killed and cut like they do in Latin America. They kill sex workers all the time, male and female. This time where you could do whatever you wanted is over. And if you're not standing with righteous Black men and women, you're not with God, you're not for things, you're going to catch hell. And by the way, this is a country full of guns. If you think that you can hook and crook, all kinds of people have guns, shooting people all over the place. And you know what? With the new judges coming, here comes the Trump. Here comes the Trump. It's going to be merciless. There's going to be death penalty sentences for all kinds of things that didn't happen before. Not to mention that when they start rounding up and trying to deport people, folk are going to lash out at who they can hurt. They've been killing Black folks up in New York, and they've been attacking them in Chicago and other places. So the Black men who won't join the movement, that won't stick together, that won't love, won't care, won't be men, can't do that, they've made themselves irrelevant to us and to them. And I repeat, they want to use drugs too. Do you really think when they start deporting people, in as much as our Black gangs are resellers, they do retail for the Latin gangs? You saw that movie American Me. Remember they put the knife up the guy's ass in prison? And so what they did was put out an extra strong, dangerous drug, and everybody started dying in that neighborhood. You're going to see a lot of these people overdose in the next few months. If they start deporting people, they're going to be between two. It's going to be like being hit on the head with two bricks. You're going to get hit by the brick of white supremacy. You're going to get hit by the brick on the other side from the illegals and others who really don't give a damn about you. And you're going to increasingly find themselves hated, reviled, and looked down on by Black folks who are waking up to this boule filth, to this Luciferian Black scum that's been guiding our people to mass death, where they make it seem as if abortion is like a coming out party, or we're getting your butthole blown out is what manhood's about. The people who've done that, and yet none of these people can stand up. No one's asked, what was the ethnicity of the woman set on fire in the subway in New York, or the woman set on fire in North Carolina, or the missing Black women, or the Black girl that got killed by the illegal down in Texas, or the Black baby boy gang raped on Rainbow Beach in Chicago? Where are these Black men? And I'm going to say something else. For the Black women, that woman that got set on fire in North Carolina was by herself. The woman that got set on fire in New York was by herself. People better rediscover that we need each other and we need God. And if you think you're too good for God and you claim you're somehow connected to this Black experience, you're full of lies and you're full of shit. Your ancestors were praying in the damn cotton fields because it was hell. They were singing and made good music. And apparently, even the damn white Jesus, if they actually believed in it, did better for them than these stupid ass cultic religions and shit that you're into.
Real quick, Dr. Short, before I get to your last word, somebody wrote, if we get reparations, we will destroy the planet respectfully. No, that's not what, you can't follow that one respectfully. The planet's already been destroyed when we don't have reparations. Black people ain't the ones that have a whole trash pile in the Pacific Ocean the size of fucking Texas. We ain't the ones that's going around polluting the ozone, polluting the water. What? See, sometimes we just let Black folks talk. It's like, what do you mean? We controlled the planet 99% of the planet's existence, and we've only lost control over the last 300-400 years. Now half the sea life is gone, half the air life is gone, the human life ain't no more goddamn buffalo in America. Shit just dead. All the shit that has gone extinct over the last 200 years, and you let a nigga talk. He talking about something. Well, we get the planet. We gon' It's already getting goddamn destroyed without us having any control of it. Sometimes I be thinking like, what do these niggas be talking about? We ain't building out one nuclear warhead. We don't poison no wells. No, America was fine. The Ohio River was fine when we controlled it. Now the shit is full of all kind of goddamn toxins. You got the Chinese over here polluting the air. You got the Japanese putting the goddamn nuclear waste in the ocean. And this nigga say if black people get the planet, it's gonna be destroyed. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, all we need to do is, if you can get his email address, we can make a special appeal for him to get an honorary Ku Klux Klan membership. They can use him for motivation. He can be a motivational speaker. They can use him.
Bruh, these people, I don't get it. The self-hate within so many black folks, they think just if it's black, it's got to be the worst things ever. Brother, I just saw that comment, so I had to go in and say that real quick, Dr. Short.
People like that aren't going to make it. The good news is that they're not. I mean, self-hating Negroes are going to go the way of the buffalo, because if I had a choice between helping, if there was like one piece of bread in the world left, and it was a black person that was a self-hating Negro and a black person with some integrity, I would let the one that hated himself starve. I mean, people like that are a bad bet. And this is why I agree with you. I don't join organizations, Brother Dewan, not right now, because there are too many black folks that are tares. They're not wheat. In fact, he's a defeatist. And I would just say to him, in the military, and military laws all over the world, when you're a defeatist, your commanding officer has the right to shoot you, to gun you down on the spot, to make an example of you. How dare you say we don't deserve recompense for what we've been through? That's an act of treason against black people. And so this man's a traitor, and people in the chat should denounce this person. In fact, this is what's going to happen. You're going to see increasingly black folks who see how crucial things are. We've been at this juncture almost 100 years ago when black folks went into the Great Depression, starting in the middle 1920s when black banks began to fail. It hit the white people later. About 1925, 1926, black folks began to hurt. And it really took place after the 1929 with the black, or whatever, the day in 1929 where the stock market crashed. What happened with black folks were under such pressure, people came down on traders in our community. And I believe that the hard economic times and other difficulties are going to make people adjust their lenses. And if you're a defeatist, there's a really good movie, Edward G. Robinson. I know you know the actor, very famous one. He plays a Norwegian resistance fighter in a 1940s film. And there was a guy amongst the Norwegians that was working for the Germans to prevent his people from being free. And they realized that this guy had a dog whistle that he would blow so the Germans could know, so they could catch them. And when they realized that, they killed that guy and threw him overboard. I don't advocate violence, but I'll tell you something. Certain people, that includes white supremacists and also black traitors, are only going to understand deterrent violence and resistance and reprisals. Okay, it's the same way in New York City. The reason you can get on a bus and not have to sit in the back, or you see a black bus driver, is that people had to boycott. In 1943-44, the omnibus company was boycotted. And if you tried to get on a bus, they'd beat your ass. Because there's certain black folks that are wicked and are evil, whose interests are against the group. And we have not created a police force to deal with traitors, to stomp them, to show them, if you sell us out, if you try to, we'll get you. We may not be able to prevail over white supremacy on an institutional basis, but we can definitely deal with in-house traitors. And this is sort of why if I do anything, I talk about black traitors and black treason and sellouts, because you're not going to get reparations until we weed out traitors like those folks on the California Black Legislative Caucus. I knew they weren't going to get it because they were all Boule or with the United Way or with the ADL, or they were with something that wasn't black, that wasn't controlled by black people. We have to get to the point of recognizing that our greatest enemies are those amongst us who do not want freedom for us. And you don't want freedom passively by being a defeatist, or you don't want it actively where you act as a black-skinned white supremacist. Even if you've got kente cloth on and you talk all that. The day that people, and I remember when black was beautiful, back late 60s, early 70s, someone like that brother would be getting his behind kicked. They wouldn't let you speak out against
you
Malcolm.
Couldn't even make, when it comes to certain, like there are certain topics like reparations, like we can have differences of opinion on a lot of things, whatever. But then, because we all understand that reparations is a fight that's going to require all hands on deck, or is all able hands on deck. When those of us who have our hands on the deck, literally, I'm out here at these meetings, you are. When we hear somebody saying it's never gonna happen, you gotta understand. Anytime you come in being a detractor to people who are actually out here doing it, you're going to be looked at no differently as any kind of enemy opposing what's going on. That punk ass Isaac Bryan dude was in Leimert Park the other day, going through trying to do a toy drive, and my homegirl Brandy, Westchester High School, somebody I've been doing since middle school, she was out there and she had a group of people and they was in his ass. They could not have a peaceful toy drive. Made it very clear yesterday. What good are these toys? If you gave us reparations, we wouldn't need a damn toy drive because we'd be able to afford our own goddamn toys. Those of us who are out here are not playing with people out here saying, well, if we do get reparations, then we just going to destroy the planet. We just going to buy Michael Jordans. Or it's never going to happen. Y'all niggas have had the platform, and the reason why we don't have reparations is because y'all been talking for way too goddamn long. This is a new day. You done said your say, you done had what you had to say. But there are those of us out here who are serious about it, and you will not be allowed a voice, even if we agree on everything else. You can't speak on that. Or if you don't think it's gonna happen, or if you think it's gonna be something bad that comes out of it, shut the fuck up. Or maybe you can become a financial expert. Maybe you can be the ones. If you think we're going to blow all our money and waste all our money, why don't you go to financial services school so you can teach black people when we get the money how to manage it instead of being a goddamn detractor? We do not encourage that, and we will not tolerate bullshit-ass distracting statements when we're talking serious business. Won't be tolerated. Zero tolerance.
Absolutely. And I want to remind people, in 1968, February 9th, 1968, they had an Orangeburg massacre where the South Carolina Highway Patrol and others gunned down, killed 3 students from South Carolina State University and wounded many others. Many people know about that one. But what they don't know is during the American Revolution, at least 14 people that were loyal to the British that were against the American Revolution were executed. Most people don't know that during the American Revolution, a disproportionate number of people that were killed were people that were loyal to King George that didn't support the revolutionary cause.
All up in Boston, they was getting them. Crap.
White folk all over the country, no, it's really deep down south, were being killed and run out of the colonies. If you don't support us, we're going to get you. The reason that white people and others have cohesion is that there's a penalty for betraying your group. And this is why I say that black people are not a very moral group, because there's nothing that you can't do to hurt the collective of black people and not be made to pay for it. That's Al Sharpton, that's Obama, that's Oprah, that's Diddy. It's a lot of people who betrayed us. I believe that the younger black folks, once they get more desperate and they see this, the next movement will be one that cleanses us of traitors. There will be a purge. You're going to learn to get on code. It isn't optional. You don't have the right to make a decision against the survival of the people and act as if that's your individual right. You get your ass canceled out, and every other people in the world. We're weak, and this is what Black men have not done, is create an order. How dare you act out against the Black American people because you're stupid, selfish, or you're a coward, or you're a fool, or all the above. You know, let's dispatch this dude. I don't have the time for it.
That's cool, because I want to close it out anyway, Dr. Short. What are your closing thoughts? Because we're gonna get you again at the top of the year. We ending this year. This is our last discussion for the year. How do you see? How's the year been? How this conclude this year, and what we should project for next year, going into next year?
That everything's going to be on pause until Trump gets in, unless Biden and them start a war or something, which is going to be harder and harder to do as the clock ticks down. I actually think that a lot of Black folks were hiding and scared because they believed in the Democratic Party and Kamala Harris. When Trump gets in, and if they start rounding up illegals at the beginning of the year, a whole bunch of other people are going to have to reconsider the positions that they've taken. On top of that, you're going to see a lot of people knocked down. There's going to be a lot of rapid change in the first 100 days starting after January 21st. And so you're going to see something very interesting, and you're also going to see more steps to expose enemies that people have. There's going to be a lot of revenge. Don't be surprised if even people like Obama are being called into question, called before Congress. A lot of people that we looked up to, Black celebrities, political or otherwise, are going to be found to be very dirty people. They did nothing for us, and they weren't doing anything for anybody else. They simply were tools of people that controlled them. This whole thing of Black first and Black icons, you're going to see those things smashed and destroyed in the way never before. You will hear people screaming about Black wealth, but I want to say one thing to everyone, and I want people to remember I said this. The day that they start letting snippets of these films come out, if there is video of Black men gang raping white women or white children or anybody white, if it's Justin Bieber, the way that the white society will look at that will not be that Diddy and his friends did it. It will be, look at the niggas rape us. And they should be punished.
You're right. These celebrities are really doing things that can make it bad on the rest of us.
They've set, there's a whole group of Black Luciferian elitists and others who have created a catastrophic disaster for all of us. And at the same time, they're against Black business, they're against Black wealth, they're against reparations, they're against us defending ourselves, owning guns, they're against everything that would allow us to survive, and they facilitate it. It's sort of like they gave us the date rape drug so the white supremacists to put a broom in our ass, a flaming broom up our ass. This is what our so-called Black boule and fake church and fake celebrities and others and sellout Democrat and Republican politicians. And so what's going to be interesting, a lot of Black folks who've been snookering up and in interracial foolishness and so forth, a lot of folks are going to find themselves hated and rejected. And so I anticipate suicide becoming an increasing, a growing statistic among Black Americans who've lived in denial. Suicide, heart attack, because they can't process how deeply hated we are and the things that are necessary to survive in a culture that is anti-Black, where anti-Black racism is enshrined in everything. And that's what's coming. It's judgment time, and we need it. I mean, you could not get on a thing and attack Israel among Jews and not say, I'm going to catch hell. But says that that guy's never had people take wood to his ass for having such stupid ideas. Mm-hmm. In fact, stupidity, a lot of things, Black folks are going to have to learn that being dumb isn't cool. Being a coward isn't cool. Being fractious and atomized isn't cool. We're going to have to learn a new way or we're not going to make it. And I think a lot of us are going to make it. And those who are free riders, like that buffoon in your thread, those devils who we've been carrying, although they didn't want to work for a group uplift, they're going to find themselves isolated because you know what? If black folks don't want some of you sorry ass people, you know white people don't want you either.
Real talk. And no other people of
And
color and the people of color coalition is a bunch of bullshit, and they don't want your black ass either. So that's it, Dr. Short. I have Dr. Short's Cash App right here, $ Dr. Randy Short. It's been up here all show. I need to make sure that y'all put some money on that man's name. We got over 605 people across social media. So if all 605 of y'all gave $5, that'll be a great day for Dr. Randy Short. So I appreciate y'all for joining. You have one more thing you want to say before we got here?
I want to wish everybody a happy new year. And it is my prayer that you and I, and maybe imagine Jaguar Wright, have a conversation about black music, not about the conspiracy stuff, but just talk about that. That's my hope. I see big things. It is my hope that you have 50,000 subscribers by this time next year.
Much appreciated. That'd be my hope too, man. And much love and success for you, Dr. Short. And we will continue this on into next year. My prayer and hope is that you continue to live and prosper. And then keep on having a good time, Dr. Short. So I appreciate you for joining. Thank you, Dr. Short, for giving us a call.
All right. See you.
See you. That was Dr. Randy Short. Giving us the lowdown. I appreciate y'all for joining. Yeah, we don't, people may be playing cracking jokes, but this ain't the time to be cracking jokes when it comes to our reparations. This ain't the time to play devil's advocate. We don't play devil. I don't play devil's advocate with devils. I'm never going to advocate for the devil. So we don't play that game. Certain things, there's a time and place for jokes, and there's somebody who cracks jokes on stage and gets paid pretty good to crack jokes when I'm booked. I know that there's a time and place for jokes. And when it comes to our cultural lineage, when it comes to our reparations, when it comes to standing up for ourselves, that's not the time for the jokes. There's plenty of time for the jokes, but not when our cultural heritage, our lineage, our reparations are on the line. That's when we got to be mature enough to know time and place. Time and place. Place and time means everything. You dig? Thank y'all again for joining. DewanB.com. Make sure y'all book y'all readings because it's end of the year, so it's time for y'all to get y'all readings booked for next year. I will do an end of the year reading show in the forecast for next year, sometime between now and Saturday. Well, not now, but sometime either tomorrow or sometime between tomorrow and Sunday. I'm going to do a review of the year and then do a card reading show on the rest of the year and what we planning for in 2025. For those of you who saw last year's card reading show, I told y'all before Cat Williams that this is the year of revelation and exposure, and the people that we love most are going to be the ones that are exposed for good and for bad. Next year is the year for forgiveness or cutoff. We'll get into it. All right. Thank y'all again for joining. Remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. We out.